episode 124 of the Balcast podcast. I'm your host, Peng, joined by my co-host, Anicor, who's now in Down Under in Australia.
Yeah, Anicor.
Yeah, that's true. He just got COVID.
Yeah,
He's in pretty good spirits for someone that was dying in his bed like half an hour ago.
But I think, you know what, if you were dying in your bed and then now you're not, you'd be pretty happy as well. Do you know what I mean? So
hey, you look better than when you ate the hot chip. I will say that. So.
Yeah, I definitely feel better than that.
Yeah.
And back in Australia. So, good day. Fair dinkum. And bro, I actually heard one guy say fair dinkum before. I found that kind of mad.
I don't even know what that means. What's that mean?
Same. I have no clue. Yeah, but
fair
the thing is, I thought it was something that only Steve Irwin, Crocodile Hunter.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I thought it was something that only he said, didn't it? Yeah, and then I heard someone actually say it in real life. I'm like, bro, like, I don't know how genuine this was. Do you know what I mean? Like, I have never heard anyone say that. I don't know if you could actually put it into an actual conversation. But
if we have any Australian listeners, please let us know in the YouTube comments below what it means and if people actually say it or they're just trolling.
Yeah.
Anyway, we got a special guest today. If you're watching a YouTube version, you already seen it. If you're not, then you probably realized from the title of the episode. But we are joined by the one and only Tom Kruse. Not the actor, the cruise ship, the content creator for Pokemon Go. Welcome in, Tom. How are you doing?
Yo, what's up? Thanks for having me. I'm doing good. How you doing?
Good. So, some people might not know Tom Kruse, which is fine. Some of you probably do, especially because you don't just consume Pokemon Go PvP content, but you also do some watch some general PvP or Pokemon Go content as well. But Tom actually came back maybe a week or so ago from Toronto, from the regional, his first ever regional, and I don't think it's going to be his last regional either, and been PvPing for at least a couple months now in GBL and stuff and streaming it too. So we'll talk more about the PvP journey in a little bit in the segment, but we're happy to have you on, and I'm sure everyone's sitting here at home wondering, what the heck? His name is Tom Kruse? Like, when I told Anicor about this, I was like, yo, what do you think about getting Tom Kruse on? And he's like, what? I don't even know what you said, but I was like, no, his name's
I was
Tom
like,
Kruse.
Look, why would you say Tom Cruise? Yeah, and automatically
I was like, that's his name.
Assume that I would think of not the actor. Do you know what I mean?
Well, because you play Pokemon Go, and maybe you came across trainer tips, Mystic Step and stuff. So you might have came across, but I don't even think you say Tom Kruse a lot on your channel. You probably say TheKruseShip, right?
Yeah, I've thought about rebranding to Tom Kruse, but
you don't want to get a cease and desist. You know what I mean?
Oh, true.
Yeah. Well, it's Kruse spelled with a K, so it's a little different.
Cease and desist the Tom part.
That's how, it's the top part. But yeah, tell us about yourself. Where your username comes from. You are actually named Tom Kruse as well, I assume.
Yeah. Basically, a little bit about me. The cruise ship name came from just because my last name is Kruse. I was trying to think of a channel name, and I'm very uncreative with a lot of that. And there was a few options like Cruise Missile or Cruise something. And then I was like, you know what? The cruise ship, maybe that'll be like interesting, because I wasn't originally going to just do Pokemon Go. I was going to do maybe movie reviews, talking about Marvel. So it'd be like, oh, on Wednesday, it's like we're on a movie cruise or something like that. That was the thought process. Yeah. And now it's just it just stuck.
I see your Thanos gauntlet in the back when you said Marvel. I don't know if the YouTube audience might see it because it might be cropped out, but
the Thanos gauntlet, bro. Yeah. Dude, I just got this the other day. I just got the full freaking shield, dude.
No, I was like, what is that?
I was gonna say, dude. Why did you hold up?
Got dropped off, dude. Check this out. This thing's gnarly. It's
you could have dressed up for Captain America if it came a few days sooner.
I know, right?
Halloween, yeah.
It's the real deal, dude.
Wait, you could totally wait. That looks legit, right? So for those that are listening, audio viewers, you gotta watch the YouTube version. He's holding a straight up Captain America shield. Have you tried throwing it at someone yet?
I have not. It is actually metal. I probably couldn't even throw it far, to be honest. But it definitely feels like you could mess somebody up with that.
What's it supposed to be made out of? Is it supposed to be made out of vibranium or something?
Normally, in the comics and the movies, it's supposed to be vibranium. Yeah,
and this one is not vibranium.
No, I don't think it could deflect a lot of the things that that come at it. But It's solid. It's like, hold on, I'll try to knock it real quick. It's like, ow. Like it's like a real metal thing. It's pretty cool.
Wait, so who's your favorite Marvel character?
Captain America by far.
Oh man,
yeah.
I'm an Iron Man guy, so we're gonna go to blows, I guess.
Yeah, dude, with Civil War here. Nah, so growing up, there was a Sega Genesis game called Captain America and the Avengers, and it was one of the first games I ever played. It was kind of like one of those Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, like Hyperstone Heist or like Turtles in Time or the Simpsons arcade type games.
Yeah.
And so that's where I was introduced to them, and so like I like Captain America and Iron Man. My brother played as like Hawkeye or Vision in those, and so that's where.
Nice. Yeah, okay. So you want to do content on just on a bunch of different things, but you end up landing with Go. I was looking at your YouTube channel. I went to like all the way in the back, and I think you start off with like a wormhole like Gen 3 video, like to start off, and then you kind of had some other stuff too, and then you kind of went more into like Pokemon Go content. Were you always a Pokemon fan growing up, or like how did that all start? Like what even made you be like, hey, I want to just make a YouTube channel or make content?
Well, so I've always wanted to do YouTube. Back in 2012, there was a few people that would do like vlogs and funny things, and it just looked like a lot of fun. So I tried vlogging and all that. This was, like I said, 2012, a long time ago. Tried doing vlogs and all that back then, but internet was kind of a different playground back then. So a lot of my friends in my personal life were like, "Don't upload us online. Like, what? I don't like anything that was like streaming. They're like, we don't want like people seeing us, like that type of stuff. You know, like I'd go camping and be like, hey. So there was a lot of attempts of YouTube stuff, like throughout the years. That's not on that main channel. Like tried to do sort of like a Game Grumps thing with my buddy, but it just was never like the right like equipment, never the right thing. Like he just had a kid. So basically, when Pokemon Go came out, so I've been a Pokemon fan since it came out. Basically, I was in 4th or 5th grade when it came out, and I was obsessed with it. And I kind of fell off of it after Gen 3 because I didn't buy a Nintendo DS, so I didn't play Gen 4. And I'm like, I'm not going to buy a whole console just for one game, basically. And then when Gen 5 came out, a buddy of mine like sold me his DS for like $50. So I played Gen 5, but I didn't play 6 or 7 because I didn't have a 3DS.
Yeah.
So I kind of fell off of Pokemon for a while, but it was always like in the back of my, like, I would like kind of still check up on it a little bit, but I didn't really play it that much. And then when Pokemon Go came out, it was like, oh, it's all the OGs that like I know and love. And I remember I was just off of work with my roommate, downloaded it, and I was laying on the couch, and I was like, all right, let me just see what this is about. Like, I like Pokemon, right?
Yeah.
Downloaded it, and then it was like, how do I move? Like, I don't, like, I can't move my guy around. I was like, what is going on? So like, oh, do I have to actually, like, I noticed it was like the map was my area. So I was like, do I have to get up? And I walked out. And then after that, I was hooked. And then everyone else
came back.
The whole world was hooked. Yeah. And I wanted to make content on it then, but iPhones didn't let you screen record back then.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, you had to like jailbreak it or do all this other stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. You had to like have it connected to your MacBook, and I didn't have a MacBook. And so I didn't make all that much money back then. So with no audience and none of the equipment, I was like, am I going to shell out all this just for like being able to screen record and then like nobody watches? Right. You know what I mean? Like what if I do all that? I'm like, oh, whatever. So I wanted to do content.
It's funny. You said you had to connect to MacBook. Imagine like walking around outside with a MacBook in your hand and your phone, right? Like,
dude, well, you want to know what's crazy? Yeah. I didn't realize this, but after talking to Brandon, Mystic 7, if you watch his first Pokemon Go video, he has a backpack on with the cable connected to it. His laptop is in the back. Yeah. So I'm like, dude, like this guy did whatever it took to make it get done. When I saw a hurdle, I was like, well, I don't know if who knows if anyone watched. So
did he buy Android after? Well, because he was making like Clash of Clans content already, so he had like a pretty big following.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. So basically, once Gen 3 came out, iPhone let you screen record a little bit before Gen 3, and so I was like, all right, when the new Gen drops, that's when I'm making a video.
Yeah.
And then that's when I tried the wormhole thing, and I wasn't happy with it. Yeah. So I just had it up there and kind of left it for a bit before I decide to try content later.
Okay. Nice. Wow.
Can I quickly ask
cool.
it, like, because we've gone past the name part, yeah, but did your parents purposely name you Tom for
Apparently
that reason?
not. Apparently not. Apparently there was a family friend that helped a lot with both of my parents, like during like the time, like during my mom's pregnancy, I guess. I've never met him though. So like I don't know this guy. Apparently my grandma was like, "Oh, and it can also be like the actor," apparently, but it wasn't for that reason,
He
allegedly.
probably he was probably not as big back then too, right? So it was
I think it was like around Top Gun time. I don't know how big
okay.
that was when it came out, but
Yeah. Well, luckily he
yeah.
wasn't like one of the actors that got like hard canceled or anything, because that could have been awkward.
No, it was cool at first, right? People called me Maverick and like Ethan or whatever. And then there was a period where he was like dating Katie Holmes and jumping on couches and stuff. Where that was
True.
that got a little rough. But now he's kind of come back or just doesn't really.
Dude,
like
that's
anyways.
wild. Where like someone else's success and like downfalls impact you too. You'd be like, "Yo, what's Tom Cruise up to these days too, man? He's gonna mess me up."
Yeah, dude. I've been waiting in a doctor's office a bit because they thought when I wrote my name down it was a joke. I waited there like longer.
Oh,
Yeah. And I tried working at Party City and I like called them to be like, "Hey, I just want to check out my application." And they just like, were like, "What's your name?" I was like, "Oh, Tom Cruise." And they just hung up on me.
oh,
No, that's
Yeah.
let's say you
Hey,
are forced into the content creation lifestyle.
yeah,
A little bit, yeah.
Gotta be your
Nobody
own
else
boss.
would take you serious.
Nothing. No, exactly. I had to.
Were you in? So I know I'm not going to like docs where you live and stuff, but you're in the general SoCal location right now.
Yes.
Uh, were you also in this general area back when Pokemon Go came out? Or were you in somewhere else?
I actually lived in Ventura when that came out. So I took a job in Santa Barbara,
Gotcha.
and we lived in Ventura, and I'd commute kind of to Santa Barbara.
Uh-huh.
So when Pokemon came out, I was like playing at like the Ventura Harbor and all that, and occasionally drove down to Long Beach to try to get Grimer because I couldn't find that guy anywhere. Grimer was nowhere, dude. And then you'd always see someone get it in Long Beach, and I was like, Long Beach is the place.
That's a drive for Grimer.
Yeah, dude. I know.
Is it surprising that the like trash Pokemon is on the beach? I've never been to Long Beach, I don't.
Dude, I mean, well, it kind of makes sense in some parts of Long Beach. No, I'm kidding. But no, like I don't know, something about like the water would just spawn not just water Pokemon, but like also rare spawns. It felt like,
Yeah.
like
But
when
you
I
know
was
what?
driving
Actually,
down.
one of my friends, he lives in San Pedro, and he used to tell me that. I don't know if this is true, and it's just something he used to tell me. But he used to tell me that there was some parts of the water where they would have like a zero biome or something like that. So they weren't a part of any, like particular area, and so they would just spawn a lot of random things that maybe shouldn't spawn there.
Oh,
So I don't know if
interesting.
that's true. This is
Hmm.
just what he told me.
I could see that,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah. That is interesting. What did you do? So right now you're pretty much full-time content, right?
Pretty much,
Pretty
yeah.
much, yeah. What were you doing before all this? Because I feel like we're kind of similar in some respects. Like when I was like years back, I was trying to do. I actually like tried to do vlog content too. Actually, for a previous job, right?
Oh,
It
really?
was like a higher like it was. I was working at a college too, so it was like it's not like really like people were diving in to watch my vlogs as much, but I did make some. Which hopefully no one ever finds on YouTube, and it's still up there. I don't have access to YouTube channels. I can't go back and delete all this stuff. But
Right.
I had a couple different YouTube channels over the years before I started making Pokemon Go stuff. But seems like you had something similar back then. But what were you doing before all this?
Before then, believe it or not, well, my first job was Domino's. Then I worked at Best Buy. But
Mhm.
then after that, I was working for a water contracting company, basically, where I would go read meters or install or exercise water mains, replace fire hydrants, work on packing leaks, that type of stuff.
Oh wow, nice.
Yeah, so like a lot of that, kind of like not construction per se, but sometimes like if to get to like a certain water thing, we'd have to use like a jackhammer and delineate traffic, and so we were kind of all over Southern California for a while there.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then so obviously you're probably doing some of that when you started content creation, right? Which is
Well,
or something
actually,
else?
yeah. So basically, so I was going to school while working and just paying for school with work on like the 10-year plan to get
Yeah.
like a degree. And the whole goal was like I'm gonna move to LA at some point and then be around like-minded people who want to make content, unlike like my friends. Not like dogging on my friends, but
Yeah.
they didn't want that like legit. So that was the whole goal. And then I ended up like leaving that for a bit and working as a digital marketing manager, and I just moved to Maui.
Okay.
I moved to Maui because I was like at this like just basically that job ended in a way that I was like not happy with it, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna move to Hawaii because you only live once, right? And I could
Right.
work remote, so I did that. And basically, once I moved back from there, I was in this like sweet spot of like I don't have any job when I came back.
Hmm.
Let me just try making this content thing while I apply for other things.
Yeah.
And I just started making content, and then that became my full time gig
Wow.
for years
Awesome.
until recently. Now I'm like full time at Mystic Rips / content.
Yeah. 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 Gotcha. Uh, yeah. How was it too? Because I feel like I obviously wasn't like watching when you started, but I remember the Trainer Club, right? Um, Billy, when he started making content, he used to be like local of mine because he was in Georgia. Actually, he was in like a little bit outside of Atlanta, and
Oh
because I
wow.
remember he was like a hardcore like grinder too, so he'd like be posting in different discords like his grind routes and whatever, and like other people knew him. So I like never really like bumped into him, but I saw his stuff. And then when he first started making YouTube videos, he was posting in these Discord channels and Facebook groups, right? And I remember watching, I was like, dude, like, is this really gonna take off? Like, one, there's a bunch of other Pokemon Go content creators already, and two, your username is the Trainer Club, which sounds too much like Trainer Tips, right? And he
Right,
actually proved
right.
me wrong because he's like making tons of content and all this stuff now.
Yeah.
Um, and he's at least like from my interaction, he's a super nice guy as well. And now I think is he in LA or something, or is he still in
I
Seattle? But
actually think. Well, I mean, I don't know if I want to dox him too much, but
yeah,
I think he's in. I think his home base is in California.
yeah, yeah,
But every time I receive a gift from him on my friends list, he's like in Barcelona or
yeah,
Spain.
yeah,
I'm like,
That's
where
so
are you
good.
going? Like, yeah,
that guy's like
like there's no
grinding.
safari zone there. Why are you there?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, he's an interesting dude, but he does travel a lot for the content.
mhm.
But yeah, so I was thinking back then, I was like, man, how do you start making content? You're not one of the first people, right? And it's not like you have something miraculously different than other people, right? But he was able to just create his own kind of brand and stuff too. So like for the same question as you, like how did you like kind of like branch into or like create a space for yourself in the content creator space when like at the same time too, right? There was already like Trainer Chase Mystic 7 and like
With it being so diluted, you mean?
yeah, essentially.
Yeah, I just got lucky basically. So I started when I got back from Maui and I wanted to do content. I was originally like gonna try to do videos. I was never gonna live stream.
Yeah.
But because like Pokemon Let's Go Eevee came out right when I was kind of getting back. I'm like, I don't have time to learn how to edit and do all this stuff. Like,
Hmm.
I'm gonna go buy the game and then just stream it. Like, that's the only thing I'm gonna do.
Okay.
Started streaming it, and then one person showed up. Then the next day, a couple people showed up, and then eventually it kind of became a thing. And then
Oh, that's huge.
a couple raids happened here and there, and some other people like because the whole Pokemon, even Pokemon Go, Pokemon main series, everyone
Hmm.
was playing Let's Go,
Yeah.
and got a few raids there, and then just like went to the Safari Zone in Singapore in 2019 in April,
Yep. Yeah.
and I went there and like met up with some of the people who had like raided me, like Nick or
Yeah.
stuff like that, and then just through there, like just continued making content, and then just kind of came from there.
Wow.
Do you think
That
that
was on
Safari
Twitch
Zone?
that you were doing, right?
What's that?
You were streaming on Twitch, right?
No, I started on YouTube.
They
Oh
could raid on
wow.
YouTube too.
Yeah, it was a thing where it was like you would just like copy the link and post it in your
Oh.
chat and be like, everyone go here, go here, go here,
Oh, that's super
and
cool.
they would click it. Yeah, that's like kind of how it was done. I mean, that's actually why I switched to Twitch.
Cause yeah.
Was because a lot of it was more conducive with streaming,
Hmm.
and I don't know if conducive is the right word.
Yeah.
It was better for streaming, and I thought I was a good live streamer, so I'm like, I can flourish there, is what I thought.
Are you
Awesome.
still streaming only on Twitch at the moment, or have you gone back to YouTube since they like?
Basically only on Twitch. I've thought
Okay,
about coming back to YouTube. I just bandwidth wise haven't been able to,
right.
Yeah.
per se. But yeah, I've
Gotcha.
thought about it. And with Twitch, I've gotten a little more mature and vulgar, so I was nervous of going back to YouTube.
Yeah, they're
And
kind of tight on the restrictions there. It's like,
yeah, and potentially scarring people with what I was saying. So yeah.
yeah, I was gonna ask you that too because I was like, when I remember, especially for the Pokemon Go creators, like a lot of them didn't really make the switch to Twitch until like COVID happened, right? And like maybe a
Mhm.
few months into COVID. So I was curious because I remember, I think like Training Tips was streaming on like YouTube as well. Mystic Seven didn't start like Twitch until like a while later as well too. So, that's really dope though. That yeah, people just like kind of gravitate towards your content. And I know obviously we told Tom this ahead of time too, but I think your content definitely stood out to me because your your brand, at least when I first started watching you, was like a little bit more vulgar, a little bit more loud than the others, but it was like your own thing, right? It's like your brand. It's not like, because you don't want to do what like Mystic Seven or Training Tips is doing as well, right? So it kind of,
Right,
that's
right.
kind of what's you built kind of your own fan base off of that. Well, not just off of that, but partially that was how you differentiate yourself.
Yeah. I just wanted to do like I just want to make people laugh, and I wanted to just like keep like high energy, and it sort of just
Yeah.
kind of evolved into like when COVID happened is when I started streaming on it, and I kind of wanted to make it just feel like a party, like kind of to like just vibe. And I used to drink a lot on stream,
Yeah.
and just have a good time, like crab rave and party and just yell. And just I wanted to make people laugh by things like not going my way per
Yeah.
se.
Yeah.
Like if I like lose a Mario Kart, I'd be like mother, like just yelling and all that. Like I so it just kind of evolved into that somehow. Wasn't
Yeah.
necessarily trying to not. I actively try to not watch a lot of streams so I don't accidentally pick up mannerisms, because I do pick
Mm.
up mannerisms for things that I like.
Yeah.
Like I whenever I find something funny and all that, I'll definitely like kind of see myself repeating it.
Okay. So I guess a year from now, if you're talking like Mystic Seven, we know what happened. So
Yeah, 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 yeah. No, exactly. He's next level though. Like I don't even think I'd be able to imitate him if I wanted to.
yeah, he's got his own kind of thing going on. Yeah, I remember. So I don't think we met until like sometime this past, like about a year ago,
Mhm.
last fall. Or no, actually, did we meet beforehand? I feel like we met at Worlds, but like we met. Did we meet before that? I feel like we did, right? Because we met in Worlds in
We met at
London.
Worlds. Yeah, Worlds
But
London, I think
was
is
that
where we
was
like
that the
actually
first
met.
time we
I
met?
think that was the first time. Yeah, I
Really?
think we knew of each other through Ken and Lisa,
Yeah.
but like I think that's where we first like officially met, was there. Yeah,
Oh, that's wild. Yeah, and then we went to like some party and stuff together too. But I
yeah,
remember thinking like before I met you, I'm like, dude, this guy's like always like loud and swearing and stuff. And it turns out you weren't like that. Wait, this guy's actually kind of different than
Oh,
his
thank
stream
you.
persona.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's weird. I'm kind of like more cocooned and just like relaxed in person than that, because I feel like I would annoy people if I was that stream version in person. So
Yeah.
I don't do that, because if I was just like being like wild and crazy a lot of time, I'd be like, this guy's a lot.
Yeah.
So I kind of just like, hey, what's up?
That's what I thought you were like too. Yeah, and I remember because some people asked, I think they saw us hanging out together, some photos, like some group chats. I was like, hey, I was like, that's that cruise ship guy. I was like, yeah. He's like, is he like always obnoxious? I was like, no, he's actually pretty chill. Like
Yeah, see,
he's
yeah,
actually really chill. Yeah,
yeah,
he's actually kind of different from. But also, I feel like your content, I kind of like evolved a little bit too. It's not like your one persona, right? Especially like on YouTube too. You kind of have a kind of a different kind of vibe as well on your vlogs, which is kind of interesting as well.
yeah, yeah. I try to bring a lot of that humor. That's something I got to work on with my vlogs. So I try to like just make people laugh by kind of like tripping over the game, kind of,
Yeah,
and while also kind of keeping it high energy.
right.
But I've thought about it recently, where I'm like, eh, I'm not really. I don't know. Like people, if they like my personality, they'll stay. But it's not like I'm like giving them information. I'm not like giving them tips. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? It's like
yeah.
what would they come to my thing for other than? So that's what I got to work on.
Well,
for
I feel like
sure.
that's like the play for sure because at least when Pokemon Go first came out, I used to watch trainer tips every day, right? I still follow him and stuff. I just don't watch his content as much. But you'll be watching for the information, right? You're like, oh, this is how you like prestige your gym and do all this stuff. But these days, like it's like we pretty much know how to do everything, or you could just read the Twitter or whatever or X for the
Yeah.
stuff. So like I feel like informational content is not really that vital for most players unless you're like just getting back in the game or just starting out. And so I think a lot of people just watch people for like if they like their personality, their content, right? At this
I
point,
think that's the
because
case with like most of YouTube. Because like you said in it, like there's so many different people in the same space, whether it be like Pokemon or any other genres. And I think what's going to get the viewer watching you is liking you as opposed to, do
yep.
you know what I mean? Everyone's really saying the same thing, right?
Yeah. Well, especially like PvP too, because well, Tom might not know as much about this, but there's some content creators that pull in a ton of views for PvP,
Hmm.
but they're not the best at PvP themselves.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if you're newer to PvP, which is usually people that watch the stuff or not as good yourself, you really can't tell the difference of who's good and who's bad, right? Because
Mm.
like it's like if you're first like tuning into basketball, you really don't know who's actually good and who's bad, right? They all look like
Right.
they're
Right.
good, right, when they're dunking on people. But you
Yeah.
can't spot the nuances. So
Mm.
even for PvP, like you don't have to. It's a lot more about personality and like the content you make rather than like your actual skill, right? Let's say that. So I know you talk about this a lot on your streams and YouTube videos, but Lunatones. I don't know if it's your favorite Pokemon, but at least it seems like your favorite Pokemon in Pokemon Go. Like, where did that even come from?
Basically, I think it's definitely my favorite Pokemon. But basically that comes from just the experiences that I've had with it.
Hmm.
So like I said, started playing Gen 1, Gen 2, loved both gens. Gen 3 came out, I wasn't so hot on the Pokedex, but
Yeah,
one of my favorites from there was Lunatone. So, I had him on my team and I liked him and I always thought he was cool because I liked the moon. I was like, yeah, it looks
yeah,
cool. So when Gen 3 was coming out in Pokemon Go, I was like, sweet, I'm going to catch Lunatone. That'll be great. I'll make that in my vlog. And then it came out on the other side of the world. It was a regional.
right.
So I was like, oh no. Like, I didn't travel a lot back then. I didn't do content and all that. So I was like, this is not good. I had friends that lived in Australia. That's actually why I went there to visit them.
Hmm.
My old roommates and myself all did an Australian trip, and we were out there for a few weeks. And none of my friends play Pokemon Go. None of them did until I started doing content and all that. So I'm out there with a secret mission to like get Lunatone. This is like before content, right?
Yeah,
And
they don't even
Lunatone,
play the game, so you're just trying to do your own thing on the
yeah,
side.
like I didn't have a car because
Yeah,
our friends out there were driving us to like different dinner places and
right.
going out, and so the Pokemon would only show up at like 9 p.m. to 9 a.m. So
Yeah.
we'd be out and I'd be like, where is it? And it was rare, right?
I just imagine you at like a club in like Australia at night, be like pulling up your phone, like trying to catch Pokemon while
Yeah,
like that's like the meme you see online where people are clubbing and stuff, and you see the one friend in the corner playing Pokemon
yeah,
Go.
they don't know I'm hunting for Lunatone. Yeah, straight up. No, but like I used to kind of hide it so I didn't get like made fun of, but I just was like, screw it. This is what I'm trying to do. Like
Yeah.
I'm trying to find this. And so they were like every day, did you get it? No. And there was like maps in Sydney. And I
Mhm.
remember looking at the maps and seeing Lunatone spawning around. I would like look at an Uber, how long it would take. Like, I couldn't get there. It's like, I couldn't get there. Like, so no joke. It was like almost at the end of the trip. I went out on a jog in the morning or something before anyone woke up, and I was walking around. It wasn't even on the nearby; it just popped up, and I
Yeah.
was like, "Oh, there it is!" And it just looked so like, I guess magical is the right word.
Yeah.
You clicked on it, and like Lunatone's like cry in the game just sounded like mysterious, and I was just like, "I'm on the other side of the world right now. Found this guy. Let's go!" So I
Yeah.
was so stoked. So when I had him as whenever I see it or look at it, it just felt like it just hit those like I don't know if nostalgia is the right word, but like the right feelings of like I love this
Yeah.
thing. And then when I came back, Lunatone switched over for the solstice, and people in
Oh,
my like
mate.
local Discord were like, "Hey, there's a Lunatone at Starbucks if you guys want." I was like, "Bro, I went inside the world for this thing." So but yeah, so then I liked it for that reason, and then I actually kind of became a content creator and would say that's my favorite Pokemon. And then when its shiny got released, it flopped back over to the other side of the world.
So you gotta go back over.
Right. So Singapore, my whole bit was like, I'm gonna get this is my chance to get Lunatone. And it
Yeah.
was spawning like crazy in Singapore until Safari Zone happened. Then it like nuked all the spawns around there.
Oh man.
So I have a few old videos of me hunting for it there, and then I didn't get it. So then my travels continued with Pokemon Go and content of like Germany, I could hunt for it then. Taiwan, I could hunt for it then. Japan, I could hunt for it then. Unsuccessful. So it was like such a long year's journey of trying to hunt for this specific Pokemon.
Yeah.
And then
That's good content though. If you found it in Singapore, what are you gonna be talking about when you're traveling?
Exactly.
Lunatone planned this, you know. Lunatone knew. They were like,
Yeah. Maybe
Dude.
Tom caught one, just transferred it, so so he took it out of his vlog.
Yeah, like you could watch like some of Zoe's because we were in the same Airbnb in Taiwan. I would go out when everyone was back in, like we're done for the night. I'd go out until 6 a.m. hunting for it. I would like hunt to find it in Taiwan just because I'm like, this is my only chance to get it because when I'm on the other side of the world, I can't. And I don't want to trade it. So then when I came back, that was all 2019, didn't get it. And then the St. Louis Safari Zone, I think it was, happened when COVID was a thing.
Yep.
So they let whoever bought the ticket play from home, and then people started messaging me from the East Coast like, Lunatone spawning, it's spawning from the Safari Zone. So I went out and got it then, and then made a whole video about the journey basically of trying to get it, and then finally getting it there.
I gotta check out that video. That's gotta be a pretty fire video right there.
It's not bad. I'm not the best editor, but it's not bad. It's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. I had it pinned for a while. I don't know if I still do.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so just that whole super long story, sorry, but that whole journey of hunting for it across the world and like having everyone roll their eyes at me as I'm like trying to go for it specifically and then finally getting it. It's just like whenever I see it, it has that like, whoa, there it is.
Yeah.
You know, kind of like the magic of when Pokemon Go first came out. You're like, I found a Dragonite. It's like kind of like that if I see it still.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love that too because I feel like every Pokemon is someone's favorite, which is like sounds wild because you're like, yo, who likes a Doduo, right? And then one of my friends, Ben, he loves Doduo, right? And when he proposed to his now wife, it was a Doduo nest actually, which was crazy. Like he didn't plan that. It was like the most magical thing. I was like, wait, of all the nests in the world, is a Doduo nest?
That's cool.
But he loves Doduo, which is wait, what's your favorite Pokemon, Anicor?
I think I might have said this. I think it's just Mudkip or Swampert.
Oh, you're kind of basic.
Yeah.
Why? Because of PvP or?
No, it was the starter, innit? So
okay.
Like it was the starter in Gen 3, and those were mainly the games I played. So
fair enough.
Yeah, that was the main reason. But then also there was this
a little
one
bit younger
cup.
than us too, Tom. So he's
what's up?
Anicor's a little bit younger than us. So his first game was Gen 3, right?
A lot of people love Gen 3.
Yeah. The thing is with Gen 3, it was like, at least for me, I didn't have an actual GBA, so I was playing on the emulator. And so then I was like, well, what's the latest Pokemon game that I can get on an emulator? And it was Emerald, so I would just usually play Emerald each time.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But then there was one Sylph Cup where I can't remember which one it was. And it was like very early on in my like PvP journey. I think I'd started, me and my brother had started like competitive Sylph maybe a month or 2 months prior. And we were like, oh, we need Swampert, you know. But there hadn't been, you know, we missed any community days. There was like no opportunity of getting it. And one of my friends, who honestly, I don't even know why he plays Pokemon Go. Like, none of my friends play it, you know what I mean? So for some reason, he was playing it as well. And he had this like, I think it was a shiny Swampert that had Hydro Cannon. And he willingly traded it to me. I was like, bro, you're sick.
Wow.
Well, you didn't even have a shiny Swapper back then?
Bro, I didn't have a Swampert like straight up.
Whoa, dude, that's max us right there.
I know, but I had to do it. I was like,
well, I know you had to do it. I'm surprised the other guy did.
Yeah.
Like, the other guy, I would be like, I don't know if it's worth it.
Just
who are you giving him, right?
Not saying this played a role in his decision, but his dog did bite me a few years prior, so I'd say we're even.
Yeah. Still weighing on his conscience, I guess.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. What kind of dog was it? It wasn't like a Chihuahua, right? It was like a
Nah,
bulldog.
nah, it was something like that. Yeah, it was
Oh,
so
good
annoying.
Dang,
one.
that can do some damage.
Yeah,
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 I know, bro. Literally, I opened the door and it just runs straight at me. And the worst part is he was like, bro, I don't know why he does that because like he never does that. So I'm like, then why me? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like
yeah.
if you're
What you
saying he
do?
never does this, why did he run up to me?
Or maybe he says that to everyone.
Yeah, it is
It's
wild.
like,
It is
Yeah,
wild.
yo,
yeah,
my
yeah.
dog never. She's like, I got another Shadow Swamper for you too.
Uh,
That's amazing. All right, so the Lunatone thing. This is kind of when I caught wind of Lunatone being your favorite because you were trying to make it work in PvP and GBL. When did you
yeah.
start GBLing, by the way? Because obviously, well, actually, I have a question before we get into all that. When COVID happened, right? So when COVID happened for PvP, it was easy for us to make content. We just sit at home battle anyway, right? We're not
Uh-huh.
really making vlogs and stuff. What was your like kind of routine during? Do you just like solo grind and vlog, or like what was your? Obviously, you were streaming on Twitch too, right? So you're probably doing other games and content
So
too.
I actually kind of stopped for a lot of YouTube, which I regret
Yeah.
during COVID. I just kind of Twitch was so taking over my time and successful,
Yeah.
and I kind of was starting on Twitch in general to kind of get away from YouTube at the time.
Mhm.
Um, and so that's why it was so funny when like you said, like everyone started streaming on Twitch. I was kind of like, what? I was trying to get away from YouTube. Why is everyone streaming on Twitch? But yeah, no. So I kind of stopped doing the vlogs, and it would basically be like raids from home,
Mhm.
raids from home, or when they had like a Go Fest at home or a community day or whatever. It's kind of weird to think back on like how I did it during Twitch,
Yeah.
but yeah, basically a lot of like raids at home and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember Tranges, he was like DJing while playing like one of the community days for 3
I've
hours.
seen
Like,
some
yo,
of
I'm
those
just gonna
Yeah.
stay at
clips.
home and just lure up my two spawn like stops and just like DJ while catching stuff because I'm not gonna go out during COVID, right? But
Right,
yeah,
right,
yeah, I
yeah,
remember
yeah.
people
That
being
was
creative
sick.
about it. Yeah,
That was a different time, man. Weird.
dude, and that was like that was like over 3 years ago, which
Isn't that
doesn't feel like
crazy?
it.
Yeah,
Yeah, COVID
it
feels like
doesn't feel
yesterday,
like
but
it.
then you're like, when you talk to people, you're like, wait, like I was in middle school during COVID. Like what? Like how's that
Yeah,
possible?
dude. Like, it would just talk about the Safari Zone. I've gone back and looked at the vid from Singapore, and like we all look like babies. I'm like, what? Like Nick
Mhm.
didn't have his long hair. Like
Yeah.
I had just done some like cleanse, so I look like a skeleton. And
I need to check that out.
yeah, yeah. Oh my god, dude, I look
Yeah.
horrible. I remember thinking I looked good too. That's what's terrible. But I look, dude. It's like I almost want to take those videos down because I'm like, this is.
Dude, I'm the opposite. Like when I was younger, I'm like, yo, I'm so buff and whatever, blah blah. I'm like 30 pounds lighter than I am now. I was like, what was I? I was like straight up delusional back then. Like, I don't know what. I was like,
Right.
never,
Yeah.
never short on the hubris, I guess. But um,
Can't be.
yeah. So when did you start PvPing? Because you probably weren't a part of this, but well, Sylph was around. Was our old grassroots format, and they had a huge tournament in Singapore. That's when I knew. Well, I obviously was paying attention to Singapore Safari Zone general stuff, but I remember like Brandon Ton was like making content on it and King IV and stuff, and then Trainer Tips. They all like went to this tournament in Singapore. My guess is you did you go to that one
I was
or
there.
you
Yeah.
were
I
there?
was. I
What?
was there. Yeah.
Did you
Yeah.
play in it or are you just like spectating?
I think I may have played one person. I don't know. I think maybe I just spectated that one, but there was definitely one where I competed in
Okay.
something. It might have been in like Tucson, Arizona, or something like that.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
But yeah, no, I was there. I remember that. I
Yeah.
remember that, and they did like it was like kind of like a little conference room,
Yep.
right?
Yeah. Uh-huh. And
Yeah,
they had like over 100 something people
yeah,
playing.
yeah. I
Yeah.
remember that. It was cool. I remember seeing Brandon Tan like tapping like this,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
remember being like, "Oh, that's like how experts do it." So it's kind
Well,
of
because
like how I
back
do it
then,
now.
instead of like the little fruit ninja circle thing, you had to like vigorously tap.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
was like
yeah,
it gets your heart racing because you'd be
yeah,
exhausted doing it, right?
yeah.
It was wild. So when did you get into kind of like more PvP stuff yourself?
I kind of don't know. Like like the years are kind of starting to like blend in. I kind of tried a little bit like when it first came out, and then didn't get into that. And then I think like hanging out with like you and Ken and all them, because like
Mhm.
whenever we'd be at like certain parties, they'd be like kind of playing and doing that.
Yeah, yeah. Someone literally like screen share to like the TV, and they're just like watching them PvP and stuff in the middle of the party as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. And so I think like I forget why or at some point like attempted in the past, but I just didn't really have the mons to like keep up with the meta and all that.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I really don't know when or why. Definitely, it's probably been a year now. I
Yeah.
would say, but I just liked using Lunatone, and then I would get wins with it every now and then. I did do some Go Battle League actually, so this is a terrible answer. I'm sorry. I do have a
No, it's all
video
good.
where because Donphan was my second favorite Pokemon, and I
Okay.
tried using Donphan. So I have a video where it's like Donphan rules in the Master League because I won with it.
You
And
Stomping in Master League? That's
yeah,
wild.
yeah. And I obviously don't know what I'm talking about, and that's actually one of like the best videos I've ever done
Low-key
performance wise.
counter earthquake.
Yeah,
Well, I don't know
Either
if I
way,
had
that's
body
great
slam at the
clickbait
time,
if it
but
didn't work too. I'm still clicking. I'm like, what the heck? Like, how did
yeah.
well,
Donphan win the
exactly.
Master
So
League? Yeah.
I probably like ruined all my credibility from like that one video. But yeah. So like I've been doing it here and there, but never like too serious. Like I definitely did it to get that Pikachu Libre shiny whenever they gave us Pikachu Libre.
Yeah.
I played on and off here and there, but I just always thought like I just don't have what it takes to make it super far, so I'll just kind of play here and there. And then I just within the last year or so, whenever I try to do this Lunatone thing, I'm like, well, I want to get to Legend,
Mhm.
because I do like the community. I like it. It's fun. It's addicting.
Yeah.
But I wanted to see if I could do it with Lunatone, which is
A hard task.
very hard
Yeah.
to do so far. But I feel like it's got
Outside of Psychic
potential. It's
Cup,
just,
it's like hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
dude, Psychic Cup, it was great though.
Yeah. No,
Did
I
I
know.
tell
Psychic
you?
Cup is like the thing. Yeah.
But they ruined it. Like
Wait,
so
why?
so I was dominating in Psychic Cup. Like I was getting like
Yeah.
5-0, 5-0, 5-0. I was like, because they would bring like Victini out, and I was like, Lunatone, just eat it alive.
Yeah. Rakdos.
And then they did Galarian and
Oh, yeah.
Cantonian Slowpoke Community Day in the
Yeah, with
middle of
Surf.
it and gave it Surf. So all of a sudden, everyone's got great Galarian Slowpokes and all that, and it had
Yeah.
Surf, and I was like, ah! So then I started like losing. But yeah,
You could run confusion on it, I guess, for some well, I
Bruh,
guess it's
how's
all
that
neutral
gonna help you?
damage either way. Yeah, it's all neutral, yeah.
That's a
yeah.
confusion in Confusion Cup.
Sometimes confusion helps me out. Sometimes
Yeah.
it'll get Toxicroak like that. It'll get Machop or Machamp.
Yeah.
Gengar is like kind of like a toss up because I have to use a shield, but I definitely eat it.
Yeah.
And yeah, any poison types it kind of messes with. Aside from a Lowland Muck because he's dark as well.
I love how
Right.
you know all the Lunatone matchups.
Yeah.
I know. As soon as someone comes out, I got them.
Yeah.
So I actually kind of screwed up with that in the tournament in Toronto.
Yeah.
I
Wait,
got a
did
little
you
too.
bring Lunatone?
He
That was
did.
my whole
Yeah.
reason for competing
did.
there. Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, so before we get into Toronto too, so do you still, when you play in Go Battle League, only exclusive use Lunatone when obviously unless it's ineligible for a cup?
If I'm not doing Master League, I'll do Master League without Lunatone on my own. So
But
I
you
was
recently
playing.
got a Shundo though. You could definitely run it, right?
I
If
could
it-
definitely run it. I could
I
definitely
know you
run
probably
it,
have the
but
XLs.
yeah, like if I go to battle right now, I have I've got like Lunatone as part of it with like
Yo,
Lucario Metacham, which is
fuck.
not an ideal lineup at all. But
You got the
no, my
Metacham.
Master League team was Kyogre, Golden Go, and Dialga.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pretty
So
solid.
I would lead Kyogre because I kept running into Groudons.
Yeah.
And then Melmetal can't do anything to Golden Go.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
Dialga's just a good closer.
Yeah. And if I find there's a Rude, I can do the Focus Blast. Pretty decent depending on the matchups.
Yeah. It's not super common. So outside of Master League, you pretty much still exclusively play. That's wild. That's a what's the elo at? What's the highest elo you hit? I guess because that's a tough
The
strategy.
highest elo I hit was like 2230 or 2260 or
Okay.
something like that. That was the highest.
Gotcha,
And then whatever the next cup was that Swatch, because like I have no knowledge with like what I should be doing. Once I find the team,
Yeah.
I can kind of like do well with it.
Yeah.
But I'm like, who am I looking out for? So I'll kind of just be like, oh, I'll bring in Meganium
Yeah.
and be getting like rocked somehow. So then it dropped pretty low after that. I dropped from like 2,300 to like probably 19 or 1,800. And so right now I'm at where is it? 2,046
Okay.
is what I'm at right now. Yeah.
Not too bad. Especially rocking that Lunatone team. It's
Yeah.
you know what? That should be our next bet, Anicor. Our next bet punishment. So we have bets on like our podcast with like race to see who hits like veteran or legend or whatever. But then like if you're like if someone outpaces you to a certain rank, then the other person has to for a full day have to use like a really crappy Pokemon like all day, right? And like I'm not saying Lunatone's crappy, but
I was
in
gonna
some
say, I'm like, well,
formats.
that can't be Lunatone then, right? Like,
I mean,
yo,
maybe.
but like,
What we got?
if you're a good player, which you guys are, and anyone who has it like can go far with it because no one knows. Because like with against Scrafty, they don't expect Moonblast coming, and that one shots it.
True.
Metacham one shots it with Moonblast. Like, there's some things that they don't expect. Like, I've hit. It's not the best matchup, but I've taken out a Galarian Obstagoon with Moonblast.
Yo, I just thought of
Boom.
something. You know what you should run? I don't know how you're doing on Carbink XLs, but you should run Lunatone Carbink together. You just like say swap the Carbink, because most things that beat Carbink beat Lunatone, right?
That is
You
true.
draw it
Right.
out, or you can say swap the Lunatone, whatever one you want to swap, and then they bring out their
Safe
only
swap the
counter
Carbink.
for it, and then the other one just like sweeps, right? Because
That's not
Carbink, you got
bad.
the rock moves, you got Moonblast as well, right? And
Yeah,
Carbink
yeah,
just super
yeah.
strong too, especially in Great League. So yeah, you don't want to use it in Ultra League.
I've been
But
catching a bunch of them recently too.
yeah,
That's not a bad idea because I was a
yeah.
little upset with Carbink because he basically is like Lunatone, but because his typings are better and he's bulky,
Yeah.
now he's like the number one. I was like, oh,
Freaking
come on!
tank. Yeah, yeah.
Like if Lunatone was just a little bulkier or something,
Yeah.
it was proof that like there was something there. I had something.
Right.
You
You could
know?
run it with the Metacham, Carbink, Lunatone. Like you got two things that beat dark types, right? To protect the Lunatone as well.
Yeah, not bad. Okay, I'll look at my Carbinks and I'll
There you go,
hold on to that later.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen. We won't get to Toronto yet, but
Oh no, we should. Let's talk about it too. So you went. What first off, what inspired you to go to your first tournament? Because we've had like a couple before, right? But why Toronto in general? But also like why just sign up for a regional and yeah.
well, because recently I gotten into the Pokemon Go PvP, like Go Battle League scene, and I've met a lot of awesome people through it while coming into my streams and all that. And so through that, it kind of was like, okay, like I'm gonna know a lot of people, and the community is really awesome. But also, I have friends that live in Toronto, and I knew a lot of people who were going as well.
Yeah.
That they were all like, you gotta come to Toronto, and I was like, oh, I just came from Japan and New York. I don't know if I can swing that, but it was just so like, I don't know. It just felt right. Like it felt like there was a lot of people I'd be meeting, and I'm like, you know what? I've never competed. Might as well just go, and I'm just gonna obviously lose, but just see how far I get with Lunatone.
Yeah.
And see how that goes.
Yeah. Tell Anicor your team too and our audience what you end up running in Toronto.
The 6?
Yeah, the 6.
The 6. So I had Lunatone. I put Lucario and Metacham on there, and I forget there was someone I should have put instead of those guys. I forget who it was, but I put Lucario, Metacham, Lunatone, Venusaur, Lantern, and then my red herring, which I had no plans of using ever, was Swampert. I put him on there because
okay.
No plans of using.
It's such a meta that I've wanted people to think I was going to use it, and I have a vendetta against Swampert, so it's unfortunate that we have rivals. I have a vendetta because it's always there. It's no matter what. It's in the Master League. It's in everything. It's just like, go away, bro. So I had that there, and so that was the team I was right. I kind of, I mean, Caleb can attest. I messaged Caleb like the night before, like what should I do?
Dude, you grabbed the win too. You grabbed the win.
I grabbed one. Yeah.
So here, if you look at our chat, I linked something. Click on that. So this website, Anicor is one of the creators of this website too. But it's like a grassroots site, and you can look up different players. So it actually shows. So this way, Anicor can see your team too. But it shows it's called Dracoviz. So you can search your name too in the player profiles. But if you click on See Games, it shows like who you faced, what teams they had,
Yeah,
and who like,
yeah.
and you went 1-2 against X Habibi, which I feel like that's like a familiar name, right? Anicor X
Yeah.
Habibi.
I
So
mean, we can click on
dude, this
XBB.
guy is. I think this person's played quite a bit actually. But yeah, you could
Yeah,
look up
played like
different
quite a
as
lot.
long as you ever played in any tournaments, like official tournaments.
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, this guy's been like going to a ton of tournaments.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you face definitely a veteran for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
7 tournaments this guy's been a part of. So
Wow.
yeah. So
What's
yeah. But
number
anyway,
65 mean?
number
Oh, that's their
65.
position.
Oh, that's your placement. Yeah. So that's how you place out of everyone.
So there was like 112 people. I'm 65.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
it. I mean, I think that's a
Not bad.
dub.
That's not
That's a
bad.
dub with
Yeah,
Lunatone.
that's not
Like, you know
bad.
what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. No,
Interesting.
definitely.
I'm gonna look at this website.
Yeah,
That's
and then
cool.
so if you click on Pancake, you can see the tournaments they played. And this person played a ton too. Like they yeah, you can see they played in the first tournament actually in Indiana. Oh, I think they didn't show up for that one, but they played in 8 different tournaments. So you can
wow.
see like the opponent, and they actually did pretty good in Toronto as well. They went 25th. So
Wow.
yeah, so definitely you
See, I
didn't
feel
face
good
those
about that one.
slouches. Yeah,
Yo, and hey, no disrespect to Pancakes, but I was this close to winning. I was a sliver of health both times. So Gligar is the number one Pokemon that I didn't prepare for. That once I learned it was a thing, I was like, oh man, I know I'm gonna run into one, but hopefully I don't. Because
yeah,
Gligar
the most
is a
popular flying
problem for
Pokemon.
the 6 people I have. So
Yeah,
I should
yeah,
have brought Walrein instead of Lucario. That's what I thought in my head. I
yeah.
should have brought Walrein.
Dugong is really good. Frostlass and Alolan Sandslash are all really good too as ice options if you don't
Oh,
want to bring
okay.
in Walrein.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
But
with me and Pancake, I think it was the first match. They
mhm,
had Gligar, and we got to it where it was my Metacham versus their Dugong.
yeah,
And so I was like, oh, I got this. And I
y-
was doing that, but their Icy Wind kept nullifying my Power Up Punch, and it
uh-huh.
got to a sliver of health. And I was like, no!
Oh
It was
man,
so close, dude.
do you have an extra shield or some extra health or something? Or
I think we both had no shields at that point. At the
oh,
last of it, we both
that's
had no
that's such
shields
a weird
because they
matchup.
had Gligar, so I had to use my shields.
Yeah. Yeah, Gligar's pretty strong into your team. Sorry for the brief interruption. And Anicor had to crash our whole software, so we had to restart it. But anyway, so we were talking about Toronto. Did you have Spark on your lantern, or did you have
I
water?
believe it was Spark, yeah.
Oh,
If
okay,
I'm
yeah.
not
So
mistaken.
Gligar's even more of a problem because
Yeah,
yeah,
it was
yeah.
a huge problem. And so that's the thing. So I was this close to winning when they had Gligar, and I was there to have fun. I wasn't, necessarily
Yeah.
thinking. So
But you want to take
anytime,
some wins when you can, right?
for sure. But I was like, like with Pancakes, I was just like, no, you shouldn't have brought Gligar. That's the worst thing I could have seen. Like I was just, making her laugh and stuff. And so the second battle, I led with Venusaur, and then she led with Gligar. I was like, no.
That's tough.
So like I should have really just prepared for Gligar, but yeah, alas, it was
So
pretty bad there.
I gotta ask you, out of your 5 games that you played at Toronto, how many times did you bring the Lunatone? Like, how many times did you
All
use
of them.
Lunatone? Oh,
Every
all
time.
5?
All
Yo.
All
But
5.
if you're gonna
Wait, so
bring
what happened?
Lunatone, you may as well bring it all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I
that was the
I
whole
guess
point.
so.
Yeah.
What how did you win that one game you beat against Exhibibi? Because this person's running a meta team. Carbink, Shadow Dragonair, Frostlass, Metacham, Swampert, Shadow Venusaur. Like that's pretty meta.
I ran into him later at like a little party or something like that later,
Yeah.
and he said he went on to fight more people and whatever,
Yeah.
and he said I gave him the most trouble.
Really?
Yeah, he said I gave him the
Oh.
most trouble. I honestly don't remember how I got the one win.
Yeah.
They wherever the screen recording, if they have that, is there. But the second one, I feel like I should have won that one.
Oh, you won the first game?
No, so he won the first
Oh,
game. I won
okay.
the second game.
Okay.
And the
then,
third game, I felt like I should have won that one, but I made a mistake. But I probably still would have lost.
yeah.
But basically, I had Venusaur, I think Lucario, and Lunatone.
Mhm.
And I forget who he started with. Maybe he started with the Dragonair, and I think
Yeah.
I blocked. Oh no, he didn't start with the Dragonair. So he swapped with the Dragonair, and I Shadow Balled instead of Power Punch and
Uh-huh.
wiped the Dragonair out.
Ooh.
because
Okay.
he didn't block it. So I was like,
Yeah.
one man down, let's go.
Yeah, we got
So
this.
I forget exactly how the rest of it went, but he had his Shadow Venusaur, and I had my Venusaur with like a little bit of health left, and my Lunatone fully healthy.
Yeah.
So I should have kept my Venusaur in, I think, to maybe take. I don't know if he was going to farm. I was trying to hope he didn't farm me down
Right.
because
Force him to throw his energy at least, right?
yeah. But so what I ended up doing was the Venusaur that I had, I swapped to my Lunatone ASAP because his Venusaur was already kind of hurt.
Yeah.
And I was like, confusion it down because it's a Shadowmon. Poison's
Yeah.
gonna hurt it. Went boom, 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 and he got the Frenzy Plant off with like this much HP, and he got me. And then my Venusaur had like a little bit left, and I think like I still probably would have lost if I didn't do that swap. But I felt like I shouldn't have done that swap. I should have probably tried to like, I don't know. I didn't want him to farm me, but
Yeah. Did you have shields? Because sometimes if you have shields, you just like you don't even throw a charge move. You just confusion all the way down, right? Just that fast pusher.
I think when I got when he swapped to a Dragonair and I Shadow Ball, I think I had one. And I don't think I had any shields. When he Frenzy Planted, I had no shields. Because otherwise he would have I would have got him.
That Frenzy Plant. Take out 5 Lunatones.
From a Shadow one too. Dude. I was like, oh. But it was like his Venusaur had like this much. And you know, no disrespect again to XBB. He was great. And all that. But he apparently said it like or no, he told me that I gave him the biggest trouble, and then my friends who were watching on the side said he was like going like this and stuff. Like looking nervous. So I was like, all right, okay.
We gotta get you on stream one day too, especially if you're running the Lunatone. We usually pick people on stream from the winner side, so so it's tough. But if you make a losers run and go all to losers finals, that's also a potential. So first tournaments, what are your thoughts on the experience, and are you going to any future ones?
I had an absolute blast. I thought it was so much fun. Like when my battle was done and I lost twice, I was kind of like, wait, that's it? I'm not going to like losers? Like I'm out? Like I still wanted to play. So I'm absolutely going to more tournaments. Budget wise, I could probably only do local ones right now. Because it's been a big shift. Like with all the travel I did this year, I haven't been streaming as much on Twitch, and then with this move, I've paid like 2 rents. But yeah, I plan on doing the LA one whenever that comes in, and hopefully we'll learn more about other Mons besides Lunatone. Because I felt like if I had more of a plan with the other Mons, I think I would have gone a little further.
Do you know what? Interestingly enough, there's one player who hasn't exactly made Lunatone work, but Z's Wireless used Solrock.
What?
Yeah, and I think he leaderboarded with it. I can't remember which cup it was, but I remember him using it in GBLA as well, and then winning the whole GBLA. And the difference there's no difference between Lunatone and Solrock, so he may as well have used Lunatone. So,
right, no, so I actually met him.
Oh, really?
At Toronto.
Yeah, that's true.
And he told me about that, and I could be wrong with my memory, but I think he won with Solrock.
Yeah,
like I think he won whatever he did with Solrock. So they Mish took a photo of me and him with Solrock and the Lunatone.
Yo, that's amazing.
Right there.
Yeah, you gotta check out the YouTube version if you're watching this, because
but so like I was like, I'm like, you did it. You're making it happen. Like you said, it might as well have been Lunatone. Like he has play. He has to play. Like if they just
like
give him a better, if they give him a better move where he can charge things faster or something, like man, he could do some damage.
Hey, you say this, Tom, right? Funny enough, there's people that work at Niantic that listen to this podcast. I can't name names, but they are. So if you want that Lunatone Solrock buff, you let them know, right? It's not going to destroy the meta. Buffing Lunatone Solrock is not going to destroy the meta, but
roll out.
I might be taking notes right now
for an extra spice. Yeah, no, that's the thing. So like, I tried looking up when the whole raid pass fiasco happened, right? I was trying to think of like what would get people to go like in person to raids. And my idea, probably not a good one, was like, oh, if you go in person to a raid, like maybe that one would have like a community day type move. So like whenever you see raids, like it's like, oh, Executor's coming to raids, or it's like, why would I go raid a 3-star Executor?
Yeah.
Like maybe you could have something special. And if you look through like the main series with some sort of TMs or some sort of whatever, egg moves, whatever it is, they can learn some weird stuff.
Yeah.
And Lunatone, he can learn bulldoze. So I was like, hey, like if we get him bulldoze, Stunfisk is out. We're, anyways, yeah. But like, I don't know. I thought it'd be cool to kind of like make it unique to where like a lot of like Executor in some realm somewhere could learn flamethrower.
I'm looking it up right now. Let me see what moves Lunatone could learn. That's like pretty good.
Do you know what the mad thing is that they already like kind of did that for the most useless thing. But do you remember when there was Curlia in raids and it was learning Draining Kiss specifically only from raids? And it was like,
Really?
I was like, bruv, I don't know what
that.
part of the game that you would have to play for this to be remotely interesting. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But obviously, your idea makes way more sense because if you don't do it on Curlia and you do it on something else.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. No, exactly. But it's like I don't know if that's like the right way to do it, but like to make it to where when a bunch of the Pokemon, like instead of it's like, okay, we're waiting, here's the new Pokemon to add to the decks, and then maybe the new shiny, and there's a bunch of raids that a lot of people don't care about. It's like maybe make that to where they could do PvP things that you couldn't normally get, and then you could see a whole bunch of things turn around. Like
so I will say there's some moves that Lunatone can learn that's like pretty solid. Meteor Beam, like huge hard hitting rock move that buffs all your attack. You got Body Slam, it's pretty good.
Ooh,
that'd be too OP.
And then
it's too much.
Yeah, but Earth Power even better than Bulldoze, so that's another option.
What fast move options does it have? This is the actual question.
Yeah, that's a great question. I think
because the charge moves are pretty decent.
Tackle. I think. Let's see. Out of the ones that it already learns, does it already learn Tackle?
It doesn't learn Tackle, no.
Okay, so Tackle, but Tackle's not the best.
Tackle's not bad.
I don't think. Unfortunately, I don't think it has that many great fast move options besides Rock Throw and Confusion. But I mean, Rock Throw and Confusion in the right situations can be. Yeah. I mean, Marpin gets Rock Throw, right? So like it's okay. SmackDown would probably be slightly better, but it's not bad.
It takes down Charizards and Talonflames.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So hey, if Talonflame comes back in the meta, Lunatone could be pretty nice.
Charizard already in the meta.
Yeah, it takes down Noctowl. If I block a Shadow Ball, it should. I mean, unless we're both trading all of our shields.
Right.
It takes down Noctowl.
Yeah.
Altaria gives a problem with Moonblast and with Rock Throw.
Yeah.
It gives who's that? Pelipper.
Pelipper. Gligar, right? If you shield the dig.
It's not terrible, but Gligar gets its moves so fast compared, I think.
Yeah.
It's not terrible. So it's just kind of like
you can't really tank the dig, whereas they could tank your Rock Throw, right? So
right, exactly, yeah.
Okay. So I mean, it does have some other moves too, Lunatone, that like isn't
that could be
yet, like Dream Eater, like that's not in the game yet, but they can make it pretty interesting.
Bro,
for Soul
don't do this to me, Caleb. Don't do this to me, Caleb.
The Solstice event's coming up eventually, right?
That's what I'm saying. And they didn't swap it this time. They didn't swap it across the world. They normally do it with the Solstice. And I was like,
right now what's the spawn we have right now? Is it Soul Rock?
I think we have both, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong.
We definitely have Soul Rock in Australia. So
okay, maybe I'm wrong.
I don't know.
Oh no, yeah. So you're getting Soul Rock, but like Lunatone should have swapped over this year, and it didn't.
Okay, gotcha.
So maybe I don't know. Maybe it's gonna be gone next year, or this year.
But you already got all the Lunatone you probably need, right? At this point, you got the
Shundo, I have a ranked 9 one that's not shiny.
Yeah,
and then I just got the Shundo, so I'm pretty good there.
How does it work in Ultra League? I feel like Ultra League is like got to be.
I've seen success with it. It depends on what we see. Like what would I normally see in Ultra League nowadays?
Like Giratina, maybe.
Giratina, if I get a Moonblast off.
Yeah, Virizion.
That's Psychic, kind of hurts the fighting.
Yeah, Tapu Fini. Talonflame's not too bad.
Tapu Fini's hard for me, but I have usually Venusaur there.
Charizard.
Wolraine. Yeah. Wolraine, if I have Rock Throw, then it's normally really good.
Yeah, it just depends on
Um,
the fast move, I guess.
yeah,
Pidgeot.
Pidgeot.
There you go.
Yeah, I guess you're probably running the rock moves on that one, right? But
Depends, yeah.
depends. Cool. That's awesome. So there's a LA regional in May. So you got some time for your training montage. But now I'll send you more info too when this comes out. We have like a monthly tournament in Culver City in
Ooh,
LA.
okay.
And $10 entry fee, but it's pretty nice because you enter in, you get a booster pack right off the bat. Yo, I saw like at least 2 people open up their booster pack and they got like the Charizard right off the bat, which is crazy,
Wow.
right? Yeah, so
Wow.
kind of very pace for yourself. And then our organizer James Sublation, he like gets pizza and wings for people and stuff. And if you do well, you get more booster packs. And I think I told you this in Toronto, but I got the big like 151 box thing right for winning
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
So
That's
it's a but
crazy.
it's a good time to you can make some content off of it if you want, but also it's a good time to like practice your PP skills and meet some people
Yeah, and
in the
meet
community.
people and
So
all that. By
yeah,
the way, GG's on that W, by the way. It's pretty
yeah,
good.
thank you. I
But
didn't do
yeah,
so well
no,
in the first
totally.
one.
I'm
I got
interested.
steamrolled, but
It happens.
yeah. But it's a good way to practice and get more into it if you want to and meet some other people in the community, which is cool. So I'll let you know when that happens. I don't know if this is in your plans yet, but the international for North America for Europe it's London, same place as Worlds like 2 years ago, but for North America it's in New Orleans in June.
Ooh, in June.
So might
Ooh,
be worth going. Maybe
To be
get
honest,
Mr. Seven to come along too, right? He might
I
check it out
think
too. But
from
New
a
Orleans,
content perspective, going to an international would definitely be worth going because it's like a mini
yeah,
worlds. They've got like
yeah,
the
mhm.
Pokemon
production is huge.
Center. It's like huge. They usually have a lot going on. So honestly, even if you weren't even competing, which you obviously should
You
compete,
should.
you should
It's
compete.
like $15
But
to like the I was telling you this in Toronto. It's like $15 to register for the international because it's hosted by the Pokemon company, so it's like usually the tickets are cheaper. And but you get like exclusive merch
mhm.
that only the competitors get. So like some people literally just go to spectate and they've run out of spectator passes and they just buy up competitor pack tickets just to like watch because like you get exclusive merch and stuff that you could later resell and get you way more than the amount it costs for the ticket, right? If you
Interesting.
really want
Okay.
to like make your $15 back, right? They'll give you like exclusive like
Yeah,
international
put
hat and
yourself in
like
there like,
pins and
please.
everything. Yeah. So the $15 itself just for the welcome gift for the competitors is already worth it.
Mhm.
But then you get a chance to like play and stuff too and watch and meet
Yeah, no, I'm
people.
totally
Yeah.
down. I know Trainer Tips Nick. I know he loves New Orleans. I think he
Yep.
lived there for a little bit, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, yeah,
I
because
could,
he's like a Pelicans fan, right? So like
yeah, yeah,
he's been
yeah.
talking about New Orleans for like back when it wasn't even the Pelicans. So
So
um,
maybe I'll try to get some interest on his end, and maybe we can
yeah,
turn it into a thing.
yeah, no, it'll be cool. And then we'll maybe see Lunatone on the big stage. I
Dude,
think,
I'm telling you, it's gonna happen, bro. Because
I
that's
think
the thing.
honestly, if like we build out the rest of your team really well, you can definitely like you could run. Like, there's some guy at Worlds last year. He misregistered a Pokemon, so he could only bring 5 Pokemon the entire time, and so
Oh
he
wow,
got fourth place in the Worlds. It was crazy. He was doing like the
wow.
craziest stuff, but he literally played 5 Pokemon the whole time,
Oh
and
my gosh.
he made it like and his Pokemon that was bench was Umbreon, which is one of the strongest Pokemon too, but he just couldn't use it because he had a registration error and
Hmm.
he was killing it with 5 Pokemon. But so you can make it work.
Who was the guy in Toronto? Like, did that guy end up winning? That they were using the Emolga
Oh,
and
so he
something
got
else.
third. He was close,
He
but
got third.
that team was. I mean, you thought your team's wild. Like his team was pretty wild too.
But
Like no
that's I
Metacam. It
love
was
that.
crazy.
That's what I
Yeah,
love. Like
yeah,
like so that's like one of the other reasons I'm wanting to kind of like show that Lunatone can do something is like the like I'm very like, oh, I like my favorites, and if I don't like a Pokemon, I don't like it. And a lot of the
yeah,
meta are Pokemon I always disliked growing up.
yeah,
Like Stunfisk and Medicham and all that. So I'm
yeah,
always having to see them. I'm like, stop it. Let's
yeah,
see, like, show me Donphan and Butterfree, and like, so
yeah.
I want to like kind of just bring a bunch of spice and like go far with it.
Yo, bring the Carbink. You got double rock. No one's going to dare bring a flying type into you, and you just bring like
Mm.
triple grass or something. You know, like
Yeah, Gligar wouldn't mess
yeah.
with me, right? If I had a Carbink on there.
Well, Carbinks and Gligar's are kind of a weird one. So Gligar is kind of tricky, and that's like something that's been introduced more recently in the meta because it actually has play into the rock and steel types, which the other ones didn't. Like you don't see
Oh,
much all
okay.
target knocked out anymore. Uh, but you never know. Like the metas change every 3 months usually, so it might be. Yeah, Gligar is kind of a problem for a lot. Like that's why I don't use Bastion anymore because like it's great, but like against Gligar, it's just like Gligar just like craps on it with the little
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, it's so annoying.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, so
Sorry.
but yeah, it's fine. But you can also balance it out by like bringing like some ice types and stuff and to scare off the Gligar, right? Um, but yeah, I mean that would be good. And we have World Championships in Honolulu, which you said you've been to Hawaii before. Would you go for that one?
I think I will go for that one. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. We'll have to see funds wise, etc. If New Orleans is so close.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean I love Hawaii so much, so I would
Yeah.
definitely love to go.
Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be good. Well, yeah, maybe all three of us can head over. I know Anicor's planning on going. He's trying to qualify too himself, but
Yeah.
he,
I
he's
recently
he's
got
a man with a lot of
That's the
ambition.
goal, dude. Qualifying for Worlds and being on one of the world's main stages.
yeah.
Imagine winning the World Championship with Lunatone. Like, I know it's impossible, but like, imagine, dude. That would be insane.
Dude, if you win that too, you got to make a montage video of your first Lunatone video to like now, right?
Yeah.
All that's changed over the years.
Yeah, I've got some clips just in case.
That would be a wild time. All right, well, cool. It's good to hear that you're still into PvP and stuff, and gonna check out hopefully another tournament as well. The LA one's going to be pretty big, I think. Like a lot of people are
cool.
a lot of people are planning on going to it.
It's also pretty late on in the season, right? So it's like a good.
It is. It's the last tournament. It's the
Okay.
last regional before the final international before Worlds.
So it's like a really good
Worlds is,
championship point.
Yeah, so a lot of people that are hungry for like that final qualification or whatever, where their like qualification points are going to go to it.
When
But
do
it's
you
also like
think
very centrally
registration?
located. It probably won't come
A
out
lot
until
closer
like
to the time.
maybe
Yeah.
probably like March or so. But I'll let you know because
Okay.
I mean, it's possible it sells out pretty quickly. So like I would just like sit there and be ready the moment it like goes live at like 7 p.m. wherever. But I'll send you the links and stuff too, so you know.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, and the time it does. But it should be that'll be a fun one. And then there's usually like social and stuff too, so I'm sure there'll be like a lot of fun and it's nice because we're like pretty much local for that.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so I know you don't just stream Pokemon. I know most of your YouTube channels Pokemon Go, but you also stream some other games too. What are kind of some of your plans, I guess, for the future? I know you started recently working for Mystic 7 has Mystic Rips too, but like what are kind of some of the goals down the road?
So right now, it's kind of a transition period. I've
Yep.
just taken some adjusting right now because a lot of the time will be for like the job. But my goal, like I do a lot of other games like scary games and like some Mario games if they show up, and pretty much just whatever I have interest in. But my goals are to basically kind of get used to my like routine right now, get some time management, hopefully get an editor and start to make like the content that I've always wanted to, because I don't really like the stuff I'm making. I like, but it's only I want to do like bigger and better things, but I just don't know how to do that.
Right.
So it's not to get editors. So yeah, just kind of like I don't know, like cover a bunch of different games. Not so much the movies anymore, not so much Marvel and all that, but definitely like cover a bunch of stuff. Like try doing like challenges and or like documentaries on games and whatnot.
Yeah,
bruv, you know them flipping, what's it, like Summoning Salt and like the other channels where they do little documentaries on like speed runs and stuff like that. Bruv, that is some
Summoning Salt?
Yeah, do you not know?
No, I never heard that.
Hey, bruv, watch one of those. Yeah, honestly, that's some of the best YouTube content I've ever seen. You know, this guy makes a speed run. Like he'll look at the history of a speed run, so like right at the beginning, and then he'll be like, and then 5 years later, it was broken by a new player in the scene, and it's like he makes it into a whole movie. It's insane.
Yeah. So I have an idea that I'm not like I don't think qualified to make. And I'm just gonna I've given the idea to a few people already because I'm like, you guys could make it.
All right.
But I'm gonna put it out here now.
All right.
My idea is it's like sort of like I don't know if it's an 8-episode, like maybe 30-minute long documentary episode of how I became the best Pokemon player ever. And the idea is So I don't have like the filmmaking prowess or as many of the connections. The idea is going into every aspect of Pokemon, taking on like the most known or the best at their field and beating them or something like a gym challenge. So
Okay.
for example, like it'd be like, all right, like I need to collect all the badges before I become the champion.
Yeah.
So trading card game, I would go against like Leonhardt in a pack battle or something. So it's like if he beats me in that, then the documentary would be more about like learning how to fight in cards or learning whatever it takes, right? How to play the game. Whatever his challenge is, get the card badge. Joe Merrick with Cerebi, right? Like if I could like beat him in a typing all the Pokemon's names fast thing or something, then I get the knowledge badge. Beat the world champion in Pokemon Go in a battle, then I get the GBL badge. Win against like Wolfie in VGC, then I get that. And like, you know what I mean? Like just get like badges from every different aspect of it. Pokemon Unite, I have to beat a one-on-one or something like that. And it's like when you get all 8, it's like I'm the best one. I got all the badges.
Do you know what? Low key, yeah, you could just challenge Sage and Park and get all the badges if you win.
Yeah.
'Cause-
Yo, have you heard
Who's
this
that?
guy?
Who's that?
So he's a Korean player.
Yeah.
Dude, this guy, he's qualified for world championships for all the Pokemon games, for every single Pokemon game. And he won world championships in VGC, like I forgot when, like 2017, 2016. I don't know
I
what
think it
year.
might have been 2014, but maybe
2014 maybe. But he ran a Pachirisu, which was like crazy because like no one ever thought of doing this, and like it's so iconic of a moment because everyone just typically runs some meta stuff. He went like just some crazy spice pick of Pachirisu, won the whole thing, and like it's such a memorable moment that if you watch at like world championships, like they have like intro segments where they show like different Pokemon battling, there's almost always a reference to Pachirisu. Like last year in London when they did this, it was like a Garchomp versus like and like Dragonite or something, and then there's like a Pachirisu also, like statues of them, right? Because it's like commemorative of him. But this guy's like a gamer. Like he not only won worlds in VGC, he's like gone like top like 10 or something in the trading card game. He's qualified for Pokemon Go, but he ended up
Was he
playing
runner-up
Pokemon
in
Unite
Unite
last
last year?
I don't know if he's runner up. I don't know if they made Unite's tougher too because you have like a team of like 4 people. Yeah. But he qualified for Unite and Pokemon Go in the same year last year. He ended up playing Pokemon Unite instead of Go.
And he also qualified in Pokemon Go using Lucario and Wigglytuff.
Dude, that's wild.
Yeah.
So this guy's kind of
so he should do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's literally like a Pokemon master, right?
Yeah.
But that's what he's saying. Like he's like, if you beat him and everything, you pretty much beat everyone.
Okay, fair.
Yeah,
All right, sweet. Then I can actually make that video.
Dude,
then
this guy is wild. Yeah, he I think he played in the trading card game again this year, but he's qualified world champions like every year in something, right? Which is
wow,
nuts.
that's
And
pretty nutty.
He's actually like really good at Super Smash too. Apparently, he killed it in like.
Oh no!
I know, like this guy's like actually good at this game.
Oh no, King Dedede. That's like his.
Oh, was that what it was?
Yeah, I could beat him
I
if
think
he
that's
plays
his.
King Dedede. I can beat him with King
He's
Dedede.
the best King Dedede in the world. So.
I'm not bad.
I will say too, right? Me and Tom at one of our hangouts with like Liquid Ken and some other people. Me and him, we couldn't really beat Ken 1v1, right? But we tag teamed him, and we were taking some dubs. We got to the point where Liquid Ken's like, "Yo, man, like, there's some lag with the controls and stuff like that." Like, dude, we're all using the same adapter. Yeah, I was like, we're all like, you can't complain. We're all using the same thing. Like, we all have the lag, right? Like,
my
we
lag
can't
too.
make excuses.
Yeah, no, dude. Yeah, like we had what it takes.
Yeah, I will say we did use some cheese strats. What were you using? You're using
my mains are either
are
either Banjo Kazooie, Ness, or Sonic.
Yeah, I think you're using Banjo Kazooie and I was using Duck Hunt, so we're both just spamming crap.
Oh right, yeah.
I just feel like paint buckets. I think you did most of the damage. I was sitting there just like annoying the crap out of Ken, and then they had to like swap out his teammate for someone else just to try to beat us. But I was like, yo, we're beating Ken. What's going on?
Yeah, every like 25 matches, I'll get a win off of him in 1v1. And I'm
Okay,
like,
that's pretty
yes! But like, he'll be clowning on me for 20 matches, but then one of them will get a win and be like, all right, we go.
Well, that's how this whole documentary needs to go, right? You just clip the part where you win, right? You don't have to show like how many times you lost, right? It's like it's like the main series game. Like they don't care if you lose a gym leader, you just had to beat them once to get the badge and move on, right? So
Yeah. And some of them I probably wouldn't be able to beat, so it would be like how in the anime where it's like, all right, here's this challenge. If you can like do this, then you get my badge, kind of deal.
Yeah,
Sort of something,
definitely.
you know.
Right.
But it's things like that where I'll have like those type of ideas where I'm just like, I have like a very cheap lens and I edit on iMovie. That's it. I'm not doing that. So.
Hey, I think it's a great idea, and I think you could be the one to do it. But
thank you.
You could probably play Lunatone most of these games outside of Unite. So,
dude, I know you said from Niantic listen, but if anyone from Unite listens, put Lunatone in it. Put Lunatone in Unite, bro.
Lunatone as like one of like the neutral Pokemon in
No,
like
I
some
don't.
modes, like some of the Halloween modes or like whatever,
Oh
like the
no,
side
did
maps.
they? I don't think.
Yeah,
I think I would have known if they did.
Okay, maybe they didn't. I don't know what
They've gotten close. I think probably they've gotten close, but
yeah, Lunatone would be wild too.
I want Lunatone and Donphan in that.
Okay.
And Krabby. How funny would that be to see Kingler running away from a goal sideways?
Oh, Kingler, low-key Kingler in Pokemon Go, it has the move Crab Hammer, which is like one of the best moves. It's just, it's too frail, but that thing hits like a truck, right? If you could land it, yeah.
They give that move to, I guess, all the crab Pokemon, and then all the crab Pokemon are just like are pretty frail.
Crab Hammer.
Yeah, the crab.
Yeah, dude, it is a shame, dude. I've run him in I've run him in GBL before on my team.
Oh yeah, you got the Crab Hammer, yeah.
X is a Crab Hammer. Mudshot, yeah. Honestly, that sounds like such a good moveset.
Oh, it's so
just,
good, yeah.
Bro, it's such a good moveset. It's
so
just like it's Kingler.
I know.
Tough. Niantic, if you're listening, we gotta figure out how to make Kingler work.
Dude, Kingler would if I saw Kingler dominating the meta, I'd be happy. I'd be all for it. I'm like, yes, let's go.
I mean, to be honest, no one thought Gligar would dominate the meta too, but here we are, right?
I don't know if there's anything you can do with Kingler though. I'm not gonna lie.
Kingler, we'll need like special items or something, like held items. Or something, right? So, like there has to be a whole.
Give it some bulk.
Yeah,
give it in a soul vest.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
So typically, we talk about like we have something called "What's the Tea?" It's like something like maybe controversial or something going on within the game or in the community too. So I want to get your thoughts on this, Tom, but also Anicor too. I know Anicor probably didn't play this event, but during Halloween we had a very special event where only from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. too. They didn't specify this on the website until later, but they had a thing where if you catch costume Pokemon, you have a chance of getting Rare Candy or Rare Candy XL.
Interesting.
Yeah, you might have been busy working with Mr.
Yeah, I didn't know about that at all.
Well, let me say you didn't miss
it. Trust me, you didn't miss anything. So it was. So here's how the event went, right? So people think, oh, I'm gonna start raking in this Rare XL candy, right? Yeah, really what you're going for. And the drop rates were abysmal, like
really
straight up, yeah. And they advertised for like on holiday on the 31st. That's when they happened, and people were out there catching at like midnight, 2 a.m., whatever, 6 a.m., and they're getting nothing. And then they got clarification from Niantic support on X, and they're like, "Oh, sorry, it doesn't start until 10 a.m." And then it ended at 8 p.m. It was also during Spotlight.
And there was a
Spotlight hour cut out an hour of that too. Yeah. And some people sat there grinding for hours, like 6-7 hours, and they got like 2 Rare Candy XLs or something.
Jeez.
Honestly, I like because obviously we recorded right before that happened, didn't it? Yeah, and admittedly, my attempt was I caught maybe like 3 things. I checked if they gave me XL, and I was like, yeah, this if I ain't getting one in the 3,
yeah,
there's just not worth my time. Do you know what I mean?
But
looks like people weren't getting one in 300.
That's crazy.
No.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And also some of them were Piplup as well, which is annoying to catch just in general.
Well, they're all annoying. They got Piplup, Pikachu, Vulpix is not the easiest to catch either. All the costumes
really
I need them to be easy to catch. Like for me, I'll get very frustrated when it's just like things are being annoying to catch. It's like, come on.
Well, like during Quadruple Stardust, it was like the hardest Pokemon to catch too. Like we had all the starters, right? And it was like super hard to catch them. But Quadruple Stardust and Quadruple XP, like fantastic, but it was hard to do. Kind of a blunder I think I like the idea a lot. I think one, if it was straight up 24 hours, fantastic, right? I mean, you could make some content on that too if you really want, like a 24-hour like race, to see who get most rare XL candies. But also just like it's just one day, like it's gonna break the bank if people get a bunch of rare candy XLs. Like, what are you gonna make? Like one extra Zarude, right? In Master League, like how much can you really get in a day?
Right.
It
Yeah.
was like 1 in 10 rates, like. You have to catch like
also
2,000
low-key, do you know what the
Pokemon.
thing is with like rare XL at the moment is I think everyone who has a lot, are usually people who grind out raids, maybe grind out in-person raids, and maybe they're building things like there's a Rude and Zygarde, but they're not necessarily PvPing that much. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas like the PvP players will only probably ever get enough rare XL for like 1 month. So you're not really.
You're talking about from your own perspectives. I know some PvP people that are hardcore raiders, and they got like everything too.
Fair enough. But I mean, you know what? It's like
but the
it doesn't
majority
seem
PvPers,
like
yeah,
it doesn't seem like there's much. I feel like it doesn't seem like there's much you can abuse with having a lot of rare XLs.
No,
is
I
what
mean,
I'm
what are you
thinking.
gonna do? Like,
Do you
you
know what I
have
mean? Like
yeah.
realistically, if you've got that many rare XLs, then it's very likely that you've already got the normal XLs for a lot of legendaries anyway. Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's
outside the
like,
mythicals, yeah.
yeah, do you know what I mean? So it's like, well, again, that's not necessarily really helping you. And if you don't have that many, then probably do it.
Yeah.
I just don't feel like there's much room for abuse. Maybe at the beginning, but like at this point,
It's been years since XLs have been out. Yeah. We've had rare XL candy since what was it? End of 2020.
Yeah.
So it's been almost 3 years.
And people already got level 51 Zygarde. Like that's the epitome of abuse, That's already out there. So it's like
wait, hey, before you start like, shaming people, some people actually got their Zygarde legit, right?
I'm saying it's legit, I mean, that's the most you're really going to do with XLs.
Okay. I think epitome abuse, like they abuse something to get it. Yeah.
No,
some people probably spoof for it, but
but I know like a lot of people have got it legit. But I'm like, that's probably the epitome of what you can use rare XLs for. And that's already been done. Do you know what I mean? That's already out there. Like people are using it. So it's like, you're not really.
If you build yourself a Zygarde, Tom, I heard a really good team is Zygarde with Zacian and Xerneas. It's got like the perfect coverage team. Yeah. Like everything that beats the Zygarde, the 2 fairies beat, and then Zygarde beats everything that beats the 2 fairies. So it's
that's Master League.
Master League, yeah. It's expensive.
Interesting.
You might have the Zacian and Xerneas, but the Zygarde is hard.
What Zygarde form are we talking?
The final form.
Complete,
you need the final. Complete, yeah. I got like 3 Zygarde cells.
Dude, I have 1. There was one I clicked on where it said you got 0 at the end, but like this is my Zygarde. Not doing anybody any favors.
Oh yeah.
Here.
Red.
Do you know what? If you haven't powered it up already, I would say hold on to that. Don't power it up because it's possibly the only opportunity we'll have of getting a level 15 Zygarde, right? And that's the only one that's eligible for Great League. And in the Great League, it's
good.
Insane, bro.
No, it's crazy because it's good in Master League. It's crazy good in Great League and Ultra League.
Really?
Which makes no sense, right? You're thinking like, oh, Mewtwo's good in Master League, but it's not good in Great League and Ultra League, right? Because it's like stats are so high. But it's got the same. It's got more bulk than a Lickitung in Great League. And Lickitung pretty big.
Yeah. Interesting. If I change the forms, does that increase my CP?
Well, you'll only have one chance to have one in the final form of 1500, so it won't. You just don't power it up.
Yeah,
but essentially, like you want to just save it, and then hopefully when the day comes where you could trade it with someone and get one under like a better IV spread and stuff.
Do you think we'll be able to trade it?
Hopefully, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean it's not mythical, right? So
it's not mythical. I'm waiting for the day when so I'm waiting till GoFest next year. I'm gonna write I want Zygarde and this kid's gonna give me Zygarde for like a shiny Pikachu. I'm gonna make him and stuff. That's the point. I mean, everyone likes different things, right? But I'm definitely benefiting from that trade a little more. But
yeah, people are very generous. They're very generous. So like, are you sure you're gonna give me that? Like,
especially for content creators, they're like, "Oh, I'll give you whatever." You're probably just gonna ask for Lunatone, but nowadays you're set, right? So you could.
Yeah, I still want to get more Lunatones though, because I want to hold the record for the most shiny Lunatones on Earth, and I think I have that right now.
Oh, do you?
I
Okay.
think.
You
I
probably
mean,
do. Let's be honest.
Yeah, you
You
your
would know if
competition.
someone else had beat you, right?
Well, because the problem is like even they caught more like Fleece King. He might have already transferred a bunch, right? Because he has
yeah,
so much. How many
I'm
you
at
at?
72.
That's a
Oh,
lot of
okay.
shiny
That
Lunatones.
is a lot.
72 shiny Lunatones. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
it's not doing that. So
Do
like,
you ask for shiny Luto and like lucky trades and stuff too, or
yeah, for lucky trades or just in general, people want to give me a shiny Lunatone and
okay?
hope it gets a Shundo, and it finally did.
Yeah, from Mystic
Recently,
7 too.
yeah,
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 it was the
it's crazy.
craziest. I think that was the craziest thing to happen,
You're
luck
both
wise.
filming too at the same time, right?
He was doing all the filming, but he sent me the clips.
Oh,
So
okay,
I
perfect.
haven't made a video on that yet. But just the luck of that even happening was like he was doing a video for completing the Generation 9 Pokedex for what's out there.
Yeah,
And when it came to Golden Go, he's like, "Oh, I don't have the coins." So if he had the coins right there, he would have just evolved it. Boom, bam,
yeah,
would have been over. Then he goes
yeah,
to his brother. Jake didn't have the coins, and then luckily I was working there. He goes in. He's like, "Tom, do you have one?" Golden Go is one of my favorites, so I've got like a stupid amount of coins.
yeah,
I
yeah.
had like 2,000, so I'm like, "Yeah, I'll evolve one and send it to you." He and I just got best friends like 2 days prior,
Uh-huh.
and right before I'm like, "Yeah, sure." Like, well, let's open a gift just to see if we get lucky.
Yeah.
First interaction after best friends, get lucky, do the trade, and I'm like, "Do you have Lunatone shiny?" And he's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "I'm hunting for the Shundo." Sends it over, and then I'm like, "Here, what does it say?" And he does the whole like, I'm like, "Don't do that. Don't pretend it's a Shundo." I turn around, it's a Shundo, and I lost it. I was like, "What?" Like the odds of that happening, for it getting lucky, then all that happened. It was just like that's an insane
That is
sequence of
wild.
events.
Yeah. Yo, meant to be, meant to be.
Have you
That's
guys seen
awesome.
that Japanese guy who's got like 300 level 50 mucks?
What?
No, I have not
Bruv,
seen
this
it.
guy,
No.
I follow
God.
him for some reason, innit? Yeah, this guy is
He just
like,
likes muck.
bro, he just loves muck, yeah. They're
There's
all
always
level
wild people
50,
like
multiple
that.
shinies, yeah.
There's like someone with like a bunch of level 50 like shuckles too, or whatever, which is just wild. Shiny shuckles, yeah. It's
Mad.
crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm glad I got that at Singapore because I have not seen a shiny Shuckle since.
Yeah, those are kind of rare too.
Yeah, like what?
I don't know what's up with that one, but anyway, thanks for joining in too. I know we've been going on for a while, but it's been
No
super interesting
worries.
to hear about your story and everything too. Do you have anything you want to tell us or any last questions, Anicor, that I may have not covered?
Well, just first of all, thank you for having me and talking to me and wanting to listen to me. I know I can talk a lot. And
Oh no, Anicor talks all the time. We sometimes go on for way too long.
yeah, I guess just questions wise, will just be like, what do you think? I mean, you guys already told me the pairing you think for Lunatone right now, but like, what do you think is something I should know going into like trying to actually make this thing work?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'd be happy to help you with some team building offline as well, but it's a tough Pokemon to use. I would say that, but I think you know that, right? But you
Yeah,
know all your
yeah, I
matchups,
will.
so
Yeah.
I think like me personally, when you play a really tough Pokemon to use, like Bastion's great in Go Battle League, but in like the tournament format, it's really tough.
Okay.
And so I use it a lot of times as bench pressure, right? Because just like walls off so many Pokemon, but it's like kind of a gamble because you lock into a Regiseal, like this too, Lunatone, same thing, right? Regiseal or like a Swampert, you're just like screwed, right?
Yeah.
So I use it for bench pressure a lot, and like once in a while surprise my opponents with it because they just don't expect me to bring it. So that could be a strategy if you're trying to like get some dubs and stuff, right? Just bring some meta stuff and then like bring in a Lunatone to surprise you maybe on a game 3 or just like or when they don't expect it.
Okay.
Or if you're dead set on using Lunatone every time, that's the harder route, but not impossible. So you gotta win off of X to BB, so it's not impossible. But yeah, I think
Do you know what
that's
I would say? Like, because I think this is the case with most Pokemon games. Like, a lot of people like really want to use their favorites, and what you would find is, in a lot of cases, the people who are able to make the like niche picks work tend to have like a lot of skill behind it and a lot of knowledge behind it as well. So I would say actually that the Lunatone is probably a good avenue for you to improve on like your game knowledge, mechanics and stuff like that, where you end up knowing every single situation in which Lunatone is useful and not useful. Where, do you know what I mean? Because honestly, yeah, like I think in especially like around the elo range that you're in, you could, if you had impeccable knowledge with Lunatone and with your general gameplay as well, you would eventually start climbing to the point where you realize you're like, okay, well, Lunatone's holding me back now. Do you know what I mean? And, you know, maybe you know what? Maybe you'll even go like way further than that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think, you know, for me personally, when I started playing PvP, I was like, you know, throwing together a random team. But I think that was the thing that kind of encouraged me to learn more, because I would either be like, okay, well, how can I make this Pokemon work? Or I would be like, okay, well, this is not working, and then why is this not working? And then just like dive into it a bit more. And so I think, yeah, I think that could be a good avenue for you. To be honest, one thing that I was, you know, I was going to ask something different actually before, but you know, as someone who, you know, is coming into the PvP side from the non-PvP area, you know, what parts? I was wondering, like, what parts of the PvP aspect do you feel are maybe a bit daunting for new players, or what parts do you think are quite attractive? Because I think it's important to like recognize those sorts of things, especially as people in the PvP scene, because it's like you can kind of jump on those things to get new players to play. You know.
Yeah, the daunting part would be like, I guess, just going up against people that know what they're doing. Kind of, it feels like it's been so many seasons and so many years, and a whole community actually built that. Like me going into the tournament, I just expected kind of as what happened that I was going to lose both of them just because of not being as knowledge. And so like the daunting part would just be kind of like, it just feels like it's like, oh, it's kind of too late for me to to surpass people who have been doing it like for so long. You know
Right.
what I mean? But the alluring thing is that the community is very, very accepting and not, from my experience at least, not gatekeepy at all.
Yeah.
So like when I was doing my Lunatone thing, I've had a lot of people who are known in the community or have been really high on the leaderboards, fully supporting and wanting to help and watch me learn and grow from it. So like I'll be there in the chat being like screaming my head off like, what should I do? Should I shield? Should I this? And like a lot of people, despite my yelling and all that, are still like, oh, this is what you should do. This is what this will be good with this. Lunatone's the problem. Drop it. And all that. But basically like the community itself, because if the community was just kind of like the excitement of me joining it and doing it from the community is excited me more.
Yeah.
Because if it was kind of just like, this guy's a clown, get him out of here, then it kind of be like, all right, well, then yeah, I'll go.
Yeah.
But I think that's alluring about it, is it's like you can learn, and the people there are willing to teach and watch you grow. Like it's not something that you can't learn now. Because like, you know, I've been playing for whatever, but not super serious. You know, a lot of the mons that I put in there were meta, but their IVs aren't all that for it.
Right.
And I didn't do half bad. So I think it's that's the alluring part, is it's not like something that you can't get into.
That's interesting that you put it that way too, because I feel like when you first start your journey with like hunting for the Lunatone, people probably like supportive of your journey of like finding that first Lunatone or finding the shiny, right? And then now people are like supportive of you using it in PvP too, or maybe some not as supportive, but still, you know, helping you with your Lunatone, you know, from catching the Lunatone to making Lunatone like shine on the stage. So that's cool to see for sure. I got good news for you, Tom.
What's up?
So you know how I
like
said
good news.
about we have these local tournaments at least once a month, right?
Yes.
At Culver City. So you know how you're saying in Toronto, you're like, oh, after 2 losses, you're like, wait, that's it, right? There's no losers, right? Well, in these tournaments, because we have at least like about 20 plus people every time, because there's so many, well, I guess so many, but like for a local tournament, that's actually a decent amount. And it's hosted in a card shop too. So if you like cards and stuff, that's a great place to do. But we do a Swiss bracket instead. So it's usually a 5-round Swiss bracket. If there's more people, even more rounds. But so 5-round Swiss bracket means you essentially play at least 5 rounds. So you play at least
Ooh.
5 different opponents,
Let's go.
and you could lose some too. The highest, like the top 8 ranked players at the end of the 5-round tournament go into a single elimination playoff, right? So you could go like you could even go 3-2, I think, and still make it a top 8 single elimination. So
Okay.
gives you some wiggle room too, right? Because I lost in the last one that I won. I lost like kind of early on, but I was able to
Okay.
kind of win the other ones and then get some redemption in the playoffs. So that's more chances to use Lunatone too. Is what I
Yeah,
would
no, that's
say.
very exciting because that's like that excites me. I wanted to play more because I'm someone that kind of takes me a little bit to get my footing.
Yeah.
So when I was there, like it's like I'm like, oh, now I kind of know what's beating me. So let me like go
Right.
back and kind of. So that will be a lot of fun
Yeah,
to do
it's
that.
way
I'm
less
definitely
intimidating
down.
too. You bring your own phones, like you're all just chilling, right? Like me
Is it
and
on the weekend? Sorry to
Yeah,
interrupt.
it's always on weekends. So it's either Saturday or Sunday. It
Cool.
just depends on this month. Might not be able to make it this one because I might be traveling, but I'll send you the details soon. I'm sure you'll recognize some people there.
Cool.
But it's cool though. It's like usually the same group of people. Sometimes some newer people come. Sometimes like there's like one dad and kid like drove up from San Diego last time to like just participate for his like birthday and stuff. It was cool.
Oh, interesting.
But yeah, it's a chill environment too. So more chances. And the best part is the better you do, it adds points towards your world's qualification. So they're not just random tournaments. They actually like they're legit like sanctioned tournaments for the actual championship circuit.
Let's go. So wait, do I have any points for qualification for World?
Probably not. Yeah, you have to hit you have to hit a certain threshold to like get
Okay.
points, right?
Okay.
So I don't know how many it is per regional, but there's like a breakdown on the website. I'm like, if you rank in this many, blah blah blah. And so same thing for local tournaments too. Internationals actually give you the most amount of points too. So that's your best bang
Gotcha.
for your buck. So again, another great reason to go to New Orleans. But I think like
Yeah.
if you win, like if you beat one opponent at an international, you get 100 points right off the bat. And to get 100 points at like a regional tournament, you have to get at least top 8. So like you already benefit a lot just from winning even just one round at an international, which is kind of nuts.
Wow.
Yeah, so pretty neat stuff. But anyway, I mean, thank you for joining us because it was super cool to hear about your journey as well too. I learned a lot. I'm sure Anicor and our audience learned a lot too. But for those that want to dive more into your content and want to see what Tom Kruse is all about, where can they find you?
You can find me on YouTube at TheKruseShip. It's spelled Kruse. I haven't uploaded in a month, but that's just because I'm in a moving new job period. I'm gonna be back on very soon. And then same for Twitch. And yeah, I guess just all other socials there as well.
Cool. Awesome. Well, if you're in the SoCal area too, maybe catch him at the next tournament and bring your
I'm so down. I'm so down for that. Like I've got the itch, dude. I want to keep going.
Yo, let's go. Yeah, you probably can't vlog in the middle of your battles, but you can screen record. You can vlog like going into it too if you want to make some vlog content on it as well.
Perfect. Yeah, huge. Yeah, because like I said, I'm someone who like after I've been beat a couple times, like no, okay, no, give me like one more try. So I'm so down for that tournament.
Yeah, you'll get some reps. That last tournament I played in for the local, I probably battled more than I did at like a regional. Because like there's like 5 rounds and you have playoffs too on top of that. I was like, dude, I've been battling all day. Like this is like more reps than usual. But
right.
That was cool stuff. Anyway, thanks all for joining in. Thank you as well, Tom, for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this special episode with Tom. But we'll catch you all next week. All right, until then, peace out.